probably had one of the best experiences of my life, just being down here, seeing the beauty of Baja. It's so pretty. The people are friendliest people in the world. You know, growing up in Southern California, you know beauty with the beaches and all that, but Baja takes the cake. I mean, it's so much prettier down here. People are nicer. The experience is amazing. And been coming down ever since. Just fell in love with watching the races down here. If you've ever seen a trophy truck go by 10 feet away from you at 150 miles an hour, you know, it's one of those things that just changes your life, you know. The first time you see it is pretty mind-blowing. Been coming down here watching the races forever and always said, you know, man, I wish I could do that someday. I wish I could try it. Wish I could get behind the wheel of a car and actually compete and see how good you are, you know, because everyone thinks they can do it, but I finally got the opportunity this year to get behind the wheel of a Can-Am with MB Motorsports and give it a shot. It was a wild, wild experience, something that you could never anticipate how much work goes into one of these races, how much prep, and how difficult it is just to even get the car, the people, the logistics of it all, just to even get to the point of making it happen. And then getting off the line and actually getting a car to run, compete, and finish is a task in itself. You know, to see how many people just don't even finish this race down here, this Baja 250 for score, is incredible to see how many people just can't even make it to the finish line. Once you get behind the wheel, it's life-changing. It's something I'll never forget, and one of the coolest experiences of my life for sure. Pre-running's been good. There's a lot of different lines out there, but it's going to be torn up quick, so it's going to be a rough ride. Contingency came up on Friday morning. I've been down there as a fan, which is such a cool experience. You know, down here in San Felipe, it's just a small town, and the people down here, when these Baja score races come into town, it's like Super Bowl weekend down here for them. I mean, every local is out just having a good time with their families. All the fans get to experience that, walk around all the cars, get to meet the drivers, see all these kids coming up to you begging for a sticker, which is pretty neat. It's an all-day process, and doing it as a driver as opposed to a fan is definitely a different experience. You know, I've done it a lot as a fan, and I've always had fun going down there, you know, having your beverage of choice and walking around down there and just checking out all the cars and wishing you could get in one day.
2,000 on thermometers, 2,000 surrounding us. Travel 2,000 kilometers to hang out with us. What's up, danger? What's up, danger?
We launch around 10:40 a.m. We're gonna take off the start line. Car's running good. We're having no issues. We think we have everything worked out with the alternator. We've had to flip it out again. So we're gonna try and make some moves and get by some of these guys real early because we don't want to get stuck behind all the dust of these guys. First, we take off and we're doing really well. We get out to the desert where it opens up. We start passing people right away. Car's running good. We're going fast. We have a couple lines that really get us ahead of the pack and start going by, I would say, 4 or 5 cars within the first 20-30 minutes and feeling really good. And once we hit about I'd say mile 80, mile marker 80 on the race course. Around mile 80, we realized that we're having alternator issues again. And, you know, it's just, you think you have these things worked out, and it's like, not again, you know? And he calls out that we're losing volts. You know, our voltage is going from 13.5 or 14, and now we're running in the high 9s. And we know what that, we at this point, at least we know what's gonna happen. So can't turn the car off, obviously, because it's probably not going to restart. I lose power steering first, and power steering is not a big issue if you're going high speed, but at low speeds it gets tiresome real quick turning that car with no power steering. The most important thing is we lost our navigation. Now we're driving blind. The only thing you can do at this point is follow the actual course itself. We're just trying to follow the course, deviate when we can, but we have to keep the course in our line of sight, because if we miss a VCP, a virtual checkpoint out there, we're just gonna get penalized, so it's not worth it. So we have to keep the track within eyesight at all times. Another thing, we had to turn everything else on the car off to save electricity, so we lost our Parker pumper. So the air pumping into our helmets to keep all the dust and silt out, you just push on, you start just adapting, and it doesn't become that big of a deal after a while.
I'm not scared of the dark. I'm not running. No, I'm not afraid of the fall. I'm not scared, not at all. Why would a star ever be afraid of the dark? I'm not scared. I'm not scared either of the stars. I'm not scared of the dark, of the dark.
Another thing with the alternators, we lost a lot of power to the car. So our top speed went from the high 80s to 65. We're just trying to make the best of the situation, but what gets really scary is going through those silt beds. You need as much power as you can to get through them. We're running probably 65% power, maybe 70% power on the car. And then we go through the silt beds, and not having the Parker pumpers on, the dust just fills up our helmets. We can't see anything, zero visibility. We're driving completely blind through that section. We don't know where we are. And you can't stop because you're gonna get run through, and you can't power through it because you don't know what's in front of you. Cleaned out our helmets as best we could, tried to get as much of the sand out of our eyes, and continued on. Suspension's working good, car's running fine. So we power on, and we got to about mile 1, I want to say 170 or so was where we pitted our first pit. We just made the decision, you know what, let's just power through this. We're gonna deal with the situation we have, and we want to finish the race. Got fuel and took off again. We were just happy to be running good and knew that we were gonna make it to the finish at that point. Thinking, you know, in your head, you're just frustrated doing 65, that you're probably going to be towards the bottom of the pack, but you don't know what's going on out there with everybody else too. You know, everybody has issues out there.
Didn't know they doubted us, makes it that more marvelous. Sign them up, cause ominous vibes and I get synonymous. What's up, danger? Hey, don't be a stranger, cause I like high chances that I might lose. I like it all on the edge, just like you. Hey, I like tall buildings so I can leap off of them. I go hard with it, no matter how dark it is. I'm insane, but on my toes. I could keep the world balanced on my nose. I had a slumber party with all my foes. Now I wear them like a badge on all my clothes. If I'm crazy, I'm on my own. If I'm waiting, it's on my phone. If I sound lazy, just ignore my tone. Cause I'm always gonna answer when you call my phone. Like, what's up, dude?
We made it through. We didn't have to stop again. We made it all the way back to the finish line. Turns out we actually ended up in 8th place with a few penalties. Car made it back. You know, we find out a lot of cars didn't finish at all out there. To be in the top 10 and have all the issues, I consider it a win all day long. We had a good time, you know, and Baja's brutal. People spend years on these cars, millions of dollars on some of these trophy trucks, and they don't even make it past mile 50. It is one of those things that you just never know what to expect out here. It's a great time, and I wouldn't change it for the world, you know, being out till 3 o'clock in the middle of the dark pre-running to running on no sleep. to going out there and having problems with the car and whatever it is, but make it to the finish line and know that you made it is the most important thing, I think, out of all of it. The whole team experience is really cool. Get all these guys together and have a good time. So it was a great experience, and hopefully I'll be back for another one.